today's top boxing news. Ow!
Okay, we'll start with this. Katie Taylor had this to say about a Cameron rematch. Revenge would be very sweet.
Perhaps it's because I've been a fan of Katie Taylor for such a long time, or maybe it's just wide-eyed optimism. But I think Katie can win a rematch. I think she can win the second fight, if it's at 135.
I don't even know what retirement means. I definitely don't feel like it's time for me to retire. It will happen one day in the future, but now my sights are set on securing a rematch with Chantel, Taylor explained to RTE. I take it fight by fight and year by year, but right now, I'm not going to end my career like that. I'm excited to step back in there and perform. This is my passion, and I'm so grateful to be doing it every day. I haven't looked back on the fight yet. I think the right person won. I have to take the loss and move on from it. I'm just excited to get back to America to start training again for the rematch.
Taylor's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has floated the idea of Taylor and Cameron taking interim fights.
There is ample time over the summer months for Chantel to get a fight in and for Katie to get a fight in, and then meet again in the fall and winter months. There is enough time there.
But because Katie Taylor has a rematch clause that she can so activate, I mean, the whole idea behind a rematch clause is binding the opponent to fighting you for a second time.
Within a specified time frame. That's the only fight that matters to me now, the rematch with Chantel Cameron. I think we're looking at a November date, Taylor said. To bring another big event back to Ireland would be very, very special. Hopefully it can happen. I'm very excited at the thought of it. I'm very hopeful of the future, that I can rectify this. I have a chance to get revenge, and revenge would be very sweet. Obviously, it's been a very, very disappointing week since the defeat. I've been in this situation before. I know I can come back from it. Life is all about ups and downs. Setbacks make you stronger. I'm determined to come back stronger and looking forward to the rematch. Please God.
Katie's often asked about retirement, when she's going to retire. Does she feel like she's on the verge? And she always blows off that idea on the premise that she fights Chantel for a second time and beats her. That could lead to a third fight, or that could lead to an Amanda Serrano rematch.
We know that's what the plan was. Had Katie Taylor beaten Chantel Cameron over a week ago, they would have moved into an Amanda Serrano rematch.
That's what the plan was.
If she beats Chantel Cameron in the fall or winter months, that's what the plan might be.
Amanda Serrano herself had this to say in reference to the Taylor versus Cameron fight.
I was cheering for Katie in my selfish way because I wanted her to win. I wanted the rematch to happen. Of course, you know, Chantel won. But I would love to fight Katie Taylor, but Katie, she's a warrior. She's a fighter, and she's going to want that win back from Chantel. So I don't know what's on her agenda, but I'm here. But I'm going to move on with my career. I have my fight August 5th, and then hopefully I can get my own homecoming, fighting in Puerto Rico, the first undisputed champion coming out of Puerto Rico, and giving my island that so they can sit down and watch their undisputed champion defend her titles.
Amanda Serrano has her own plans. Can't say as I blame her. She says the Taylor fight is definitely off the table if Taylor loses the Cameron rematch.
She's going to move on.
Maybe it will only be delayed if she being Katie Taylor, comes out on top, beating Cameron, which I don't think that will happen, but if she does, then maybe the rematch with me will happen. I just hope that Katie does the right thing and she wins. I don't think it's a good fight for Taylor. Our rematch is definitely off the table if she loses. I don't know what Katie's going to want to do after that. She's going to want to retire, or I don't know. I know my career is going to continue. Serrano still feels strongly that she did enough to beat Taylor last year. I believe I won that fight. The team believes I won that fight. The world saw what happened, Serrano said. It sucks losing and knowing that you won the fight and not getting it back.
Amanda may not have gotten a decision in that fight, but she endeared herself to the fans, even Katie Taylor's fans.
I think many people walked away from that fight with a newfound respect for Amanda because there was always a question mark as to what would happen if you put both fighters in the ring. Does Katie have what it takes to beat her, and is Amanda as big a puncher as they say?
They were both tested that night.
And in my eyes, there were no losers, irrespective of how the judges might have scored the fight. Amanda gave an amazing account of herself, and I think made a lot of new fans in the process.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
But like I said, I respect Katie Taylor. She got her first loss, and she wants that one back. I've been over it, like I said. definitely hurt, but I feel like I did everything right. I feel like I won. My team kept encouraging me. My island of Puerto Rico, they told me every second that I won that fight. So I was happy with just that. That I did what I had to do to showcase. I was going up 2 divisions. People didn't understand that. Katie went up 1 division, and look what happened. I went up 2 divisions. So I feel like I deserve respect for going out there and doing what I did to Katie.
Amanda's fought 2 more times since then, become an undisputed champion, and effectively put herself in the driver's seat of her career in the women's featherweight division. She's running the show down there.
The Katie Taylor fight isn't the only big fight. It's not the only big fight that Amanda can have. Amanda has options. She has the option of fighting Alicia Baumgartner. She has the option of staying right there at featherweight and defending the undisputed crown.
She's got options.
So I feel like I deserve the respect going out there and doing what I did to Katie. I feel like I hurt Katie multiple times in the fight. Cameron didn't do that. There's no regrets. I enjoyed that night with Katie Taylor. It was a great night for women's boxing, and I moved on. I became undisputed champion where I belong, at featherweight.
I expect that if Katie beats Chantel in a rematch, maybe we get a 3rd fight, a rubber match, or maybe they revisit the Serrano fight, though if she loses...
Serrano fight's off the table, and Amanda's gonna move on. The pressure is on for Katie Taylor in the fall and winter months.
Can she win the rematch with Chantel? I think she can.
In men's heavyweight news, per tweet from Michael Benson, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is not happening next. As Frank Warren has revealed, AJ's management told George Warren, his son, yesterday that their plan remains to fight in August, then Deontay Wilder in December. AJ has chosen not to take the fight. That's where it's at.
You mean he's chosen not to let you waste his time?
Because that's what you've done in the past, and in all likelihood, that's what you could do if he gives you the time of day. That guy's not strapped for cash. He's on the Forbes list.
Yeah.
Fury isn't.
He's got no shortage of money, and he's got no shortage of options. Tyson Fury likes to pretend that he captains the ship at heavyweight, when in reality, he's the one that's struggling to get a dance partner.
If he really were the cash cow of that division, and the guy running the show, they'd be able to stick him in the ring with just about anybody, and he'd get a big purse for it, behind his following. But what have I been telling you all along? Tyson Fury's not everybody's sweetheart.
They try to find different ways to disguise that and mask that.
But he's not the draw that Anthony Joshua is, and people are finding that out.
One day it's Usyk, the next day it's Dempsey McKean, then after that it's Jay Opataya, back to Anthony Joshua. Give it a rest.
No, look, I think there's many talks going on in the heavyweight division. There's lots of exciting fights to be made. I said it in a few interviews I did recently where, you know, our plan has always been to fight in August and then to do, you know, as it's been very publicly spoken about, the Deontay Wilder fight in December. That continues to be a plan. You know, you can't in any way say, oh, he's ducking out of it, another fight. We have to focus on Anthony Joshua's career and making the best decisions for his career and the right fights at the right time. You know, it doesn't mean that nothing's impossible in this sport. Anything can happen. But at the same time, we've been working towards this August and December plan for quite a while. You know, and again, it's still not done. Nothing's announced. But that's always been the focus as a team. And, you know, for what AJ wants to do. And look, the Deontay Wilder fight, I think the Deontay Wilder fight is a huge fight for boxing. Global fight for the sport. You know, even without a world title.
He's not wrong. It's a whale of a fight. And Anthony doesn't stand to make with Tyson Fury in September what he could make with Deontay Wilder in December.
That's reality.
Tyson Fury doesn't represent the greatest value at heavyweight, let alone for Anthony Joshua. Anthony's actually the cash cow of that division, belt or no belt.
Don't you remember what Alex Krasiuk said when the fight fell apart? That they made way more money with Anthony Joshua than what they stood to make with Tyson Fury in the UK.
A couple of weeks ago when he sat down with Rob Tebbett of ID Boxing, Frank Warren, he's going to put his spin on it. Frank Warren, who said the Saudis told them quite a while ago that they'll be making an offer to stage Tyson Fury versus Usyk in December, but it has not been sent as of yet. He added that Fury does not want to wait around, so will fight in the UK in September.
Do it and shut the fuck up about it.
I've been telling you all along, the reason he's pushing for a Joshua fight in September is because he doesn't want to have to fight Usyk. in December. Tyson Fury's never kept a schedule like that. If he fights in September, you think he's going to turn right around, fight 2 months later in December?
2-3 months, give or take, but you get the gist of it.
He wants AJ to be his alternative to an Usyk fight because he knows the AJ fight is still a very big fight. He could still make a lot of money not fighting Usyk, but AJ will have none of it, and I applaud him for it. You shouldn't let this guy skip out on fighting Usyk.
Even without Tyson Fury's track record of being difficult in negotiations, fiscally, it wouldn't make sense. You don't stand to make with Tyson Fury in the UK what you stand to make with Wilder in Saudi.
It is prize fighting after all, and Tyson Fury does not represent the biggest prize for Anthony Joshua or really anyone at heavyweight. Anthony still is the money man, and that's why Tyson Fury is still calling him out.
Still got his name in his mouth.
If he weren't the money man at the weight, do you think that Tyson Fury would still be calling him out?
What do you think this is about?
So from a fiscal perspective, it doesn't make sense for Anthony to deprioritize the big money fight, the big money show in December, to box Fury in September. Doesn't make sense from a fiscal perspective. You then tack on Tyson Fury's track record, his history of wasting people's time.
Makes this an easy choice to make.
It was Carl Froch a few days ago via his own YouTube channel who said it best. We can't just fall in line with whatever Tyson Fury says as soon as he says it because now he wants to fight.
No.
People have got stuff to do.
You've a history, a long track record of wasting people's time.
He takes to his social media and he does what he normally does. AJ is a pussy, Usyk is a pussy.
Yeah.
No man born of his brother can make love to his mother, all that jazz.
Awesome.
The only way you lambast Anthony Joshua for not fighting Fury in September is if you deprioritize the Usyk fight in December. That's the only way that works out.
Is if you treat the AJ fight as if it's the more important fight instead of the Usyk fight, the undisputed title fight.
Fury is more focused on fighting the guy that Usyk beat 2 times instead of fighting Usyk. And that campaign, that smear campaign of yours, it didn't work. You're not going to convince people that Alexander Usyk is afraid of you.
People don't believe you.
You're telling people in the UK you want Usyk sooner than later, then you go to Australia telling the Australians you want Dempsey McKean, then it's J.O. Pataya, back to Anthony Joshua.
People don't believe you.
I don't envy Frank Warren for having to run spin for this guy. Frank Warren, who was asked if he believes that Fury versus Joshua will ever happen. If AJ gets beat by Deontay Wilder, if this fight happens in Saudi in December, then I don't think so, because he'll have been beaten by a guy Tyson's already beaten 3 times.
Well, look at how many people beat Derek Chisora after you beat him. That didn't stop you from fighting him for a 3rd time.
So even if things don't work out for AJ in Saudi, you could still fight him afterwards. You could. Frank Warren continued. Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois went for purse bids, and the bid was $8 million. He gets $6 million. That's the value of Usyk. If Tyson Fury versus Dubois went to purse bids, that would fetch $30 million all day long, because that's the value of Tyson Fury.
Usyk stands to make a lot more than $6 million in Saudi. Frank knows that.
He certainly made more than that from the 2 Anthony Joshua fights.
And he stands to make even more in December.
Though if Tyson Fury is as valuable as Frank says he is, then hurry up and get him a fight.
Because he's so fucking valuable, right?
Because he's so fucking valuable without Usyk. He starts calling Anthony again, like we won't see through that smoke screen.
That was his safety net, or he thought it was his safety net.
He thought he could resort to the same old shenanigans, the same old shtick, but people have had enough.
Usyk's fighting Dubois, Anthony's scheduling a fight for August. Wilder, I don't know.
Fury, you're just barking up the wrong tree.
They might be thinking, let's not fight Tyson because there's a big chance that we lose that fight and then Saudi might not put up the money in December. Can you see that perspective?
Absolutely, I can see it. I can see that. But don't keep having a go about Tyson Fury. He doesn't want the fights. He wants to fight over here. He's willing to take less money. It's about going to Saudi Arabia and making big money. And I don't blame him for that. But don't spin a story that it's not happening because Tyson's greedy. And AJ's fighting in August. Why don't you just fight Tyson? There's a message to AJ. Please reconsider. Please do that fight. For the boxing fans. Let's do that fight. I really would love to see it. All the fans would love to see it. Let's do it. The terms are not a problem because we agreed them. Let's try and make it happen. I know your team have said no, but You know, I'm not one of them that ever gives up on things.
Is it that, or is it that you're backed into a corner? That unless you can pay Tyson Fury a boatload of cash, he doesn't want to fight. But you can't just pay him a boatload of cash for anyone. It's got to be a big fight. Otherwise, you're going to take a loss.
Like Top Rank did on the Schwartz fight, the Valine fight, the Wilder rematch.
Likely the third fight as well, because the third fight sold even less than the second one did. It's not a secret that Tyson Fury has cost the Top Rank a lot of money. Now, he's in Frank's hands. He's Frank's problem.
Frank Warren is practically begging Anthony Joshua to give his fighter the time of day. You'd never know that Anthony's the one with 3 losses on his record.
That Anthony's the challenger and Tyson's the champion. It seems like Anthony's the one with all the leverage and all the options.
He should fight you in the United Kingdom for less money than he stands to make in Saudi.
The proposed deal, the proposition itself is a proposition where Tyson Fury gets the lion's share of the pot.
Why?
The fans? You say he should do it for the fans? There are fans on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean that would love to see AJ box Deontay Wilder instead.
Frank Smith hit the nail on the head. Belt or no belt, that is a whale of a fight. I've maintained that many times here on this channel. You can still sell it. It may not be everything it was a few years ago, but it still is a big money fight.
If Tyson Fury is anywhere as valuable as Frank makes him out to be, Frank Warren, then he should be able to get out there against almost anybody and make a boatload of cash, a fuck ton of money. But he knows.
Fury won't fight unless they give him a boatload of cash. And you can't just give him a boatload of cash with no chance of getting it back.
Doesn't work like that. Fury, through his antics and the collapse of the Alexander-Usyk fight, the fight that Alexander agreed to, provided that Fury was able to meet him in the middle on some things.
Fury painted himself into a corner.
Usyk's fighting because he's willing to take less money in order to fight in a keep-busy fight. Satisfy his mandatory challenger, 2 birds with 1 stone. He doesn't have any illusions about what the fight is worth, whereas Fury thinks he's supposed to get a boatload of cash every single time he gets out there.
That really only works with the right dance partner. When you're talking about Fury, that really only works with the right guy, and there aren't too many of those guys left. In fact, most of them are busy.
All of them are busy. All of them. Usyk's fighting Daniel Dubois. Anthony Joshua's fighting in August, then again in December.
I've already been there and done that with Deontay Wilder 3 times. What's so hard about Tyson Fury going backwards on the money so he can keep busy?
Because he doesn't want to box Usyk in December. He stands to make a fuck ton of money in December, the same as the 3 other guys. The difference is he doesn't want to fight Usyk.
That's why he wants a Joshua fight in September, because he knows that fight's worth a lot of money. We can do that.
Unfortunately for you, you were wrong.